And then the Happiny is gonna get absolutely obliterated! Hello people, that's it for an intro, and today
we leave none alive.
Today I wanted to see, remember the move Power Trip, which I used in the strongest move video, and that was pretty cool, right? But I realized that we never used it to the fullest and deepest of its potential. So we have Sandile, right, with Power Trip and Sand Attack and Protect, and you're like, actually it also has only 8 EVs in attack. So it's also Careful Nature. It's gonna be a great Power Trip user. Of course I'm kidding, right? But Power Trip is here. However, our attacker is not gonna be a Sandile. It's gonna be a Shuckle. Because Shuckle learns Mimic. And Shuckle also learns Power Trick, which means that we can flip the 230 defense into 230 attack, which is the highest in the entire game. We actually had the battle between Cherrim and Yveltal, and I think after all we have Yveltal instead of Cherrim. So Cherrim is here for the Flower Gift, Helping Hand, but it might do more. So after you've watched the video, please let me know in the comments if you run this test yourself, if the Cherrim actually means more than the Yveltal. Then we have a Smeargle with Life Orb, which changes nothing. We have Trick or Treat, Acupressure, Skill Swap, and Floral Healing. Then we have the Shuckle with Mimic, Snore, Power Trick, and all in defense, right? We have Sturdy and Lancet Berry so that we can activate Lancet Berry to get a crit, hopefully. We'll see about that. So then, as I said, we have an Yveltal, and the Yveltal has Snore. It doesn't really matter what the Yveltal has. The only thing is that it has Dark Aura, and Dark Aura raises any moves that are Dark type by 1.33. Possibly the Cherrim is better, but it requires longer setup, and we actually kinda run out of turns, so I just switch into Yveltal. You'll see, you'll see. On the opposite side of the spectrum, we have this team, and we have Diggersby because of huge power. So the Diggersby actually had the Stone Edge, right? Then we have our victim, and our victim is a poor little shiny Happiny. I chose Happiny because of the 5 defense. And even though the HP is 100, that doesn't really matter because this is just a buffer. We are gonna, after all the calculations of attack times defense minus blah 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 blah, HP is just gonna be buffer, and also it's only 13. So I believe Happiny is the best candidate for this. Then we have Kecleon with Oranberry, Fling, Screech, Recycle, Psybeam, and Color Change. And if you don't yet know what's gonna happen, yeah, you'll see. Then we have a Smeargle with Bestow. If you never heard about this move, I'm not surprised because no one ever uses it. But it basically passes the held item to the target, not even switches, just passes it. We have Skill Swap, Flora Healing, and Acupressure, and the item Metronome. And then we have a Berry Juice, Magnemite with Recycle and Gravity. Oh yeah, everything is set. Let's go and check out the replay. So here we are. And we could have done it a bit better, but because it took a long time to figure all this out and test all this out, then we just settled on this one. It's pretty good. The Cherrim didn't do anything, as I said, but that's up to you guys. Let's see. We go into Shuckle and the Sandile, Smeargle and Kecleon on the opposite side, and I'm gonna be stopping the battle just to show what's happening. Alright, so first of all, the Color Change, Skill Swap into Dark type, and the Mimic onto the Power Trip so that we have Power Trip on our Shuckle. Now the Skill Swap happens so that the Shuckle, after being flung an Oranberry, is changed into a Dark type for the Stab. Now the Power Trip, however powerful, is gonna be getting a Stab, right? So we're using Snore with Shuckle just because we recycled the Oranberry, I'm sorry. And we Skill Swap the Color Change onto the Happiny, so that the Kecleon can, critical hit it, whatever. And then it gets Psychic type. And it's very important that this Happiny gets Psychic type, because then we Trick or Treat it. And we let Snore, okay, and Heal Bell. So, let me just say that Psychic and Ghost are the only 2 types that get super effectively hit by Dark. So this is the only way we could set this up. I was thinking about something like Electrify Soak. Water and Flying are the only 2 types that are super effectively hit by Electric, so that doesn't work. It was kind of hard, so we just settled on this. Anyhow, let's resume. We have Endure, and the Happiny has Endure and Heal Bell just to stall out the turns. So now we're gonna start acupressuring on the Shuckle with the Smeargle, whereas the Diggersby is gonna start hitting the Shuckle to lower its health. And of course, Stone Edge was a poor choice. I didn't really recognize that problem then. But as you will see just now, it worked pretty well. So we activate the Lancet Berry, that's all we needed. And now, after this amazing Snore and after another acupressure, the Diggersby wastes turns as well. The Happiny also wastes turns, and I kind of forgot that you have the PP on this, so the Happiny is gonna start struggling soon. But anyway, we get huge power. And see, the turns are being stalled, of course. There's the Smeargle. There's the acupressure coming off. Let's go. There's the Heal Bell. There's the Besta. We get the Metronome. The Shuckle is raising its stats. Actually, I just realized we never huge powered. Oh, whatever. We never actually skill swapped the huge power onto the Shuckle. But that's whatever at that point, honestly, because let's just assume we did. You will not see any sort of difference in the damage output because the Happiny is just gonna die anyway. But you know what I mean, right? Let's just assume that we did. That it was there, we just missed it. So we go into the Magnemite, and we go into the Magnemite because Metronome as an item works like this. If you hit the same attack 5 times in a row, its power is doubled. So whatever power our power trip is gonna be doubled because of Metronome. So I believe at full stats it was 860 power. So times 2, it's 1720 power attack coming off of a Shuckle with Stab and Focus Energy and into a Psychic Ghost -6 defense Happiny, so 1 defense basically. And we will have to do the calculation ourselves, but yeah, you know where this is coming, right? And we start power tripping that Magnemite for massive damage, but because Recycle and Berry Juice exist, we have this, you know, this amazing thing here. Unkillable Magnemite as long as Recycle has PP. So now we could go into the Cherrim, set up the Sun and the Flower Gift and the Helping Hand, but then the Happiny loses health from Struggle, so I don't know how long that can last. So instead we'll just go into the Yveltal and activate the Dark Aura, and then the Happiny is gonna get absolutely obliterate! Yeah, and that's basically the game. And sadly it wasn't a critical hit, because of course it wasn't, but let's assume it was because of Focus Energy, alright? Now let's go and calculate that shit. So here we are at the damage calculation, and here it is. However, first we have to determine the modifier. As you can see, the modifier is here. Target's Weather, Badge, Critical, Random, Stab, Type Burn, and Other. But I already calculated it, being Targets 1, Weather 1, Badge 1, Critical 1.5, Random being 1, but let's assume it was the highest roll possible, just for the sake of argument. Stab because it was, so 1.5. Type, Weakness was quadruple, so 4. No Burn, and Other was actually in Other, you can see Item, Metronome. It can be 2 if it was max, so yes, let's put 2, and that produces 18. Our modifier is 18. Now for the damage itself. Damage is calculated by 2 times the level divided by 5 plus 2 times the power times the attack of the attacker divided by the defense of the defender. Everything divided by 50 plus 2 times the modifier. Now our level was 100, of course, so it was 200 divided by 5, which is 40, plus 2, 42. The power of the move was 860. The stab and the metronome are in the modifier, so we don't care here. Times the attack, and our attack was 614 times 8. Already 4,912 attack on a Shuckle. So we insert that there, divided by the defense, and the defense of the Happiny was 4 times 1/4, of course, which is 1 basically, right? So 1. So all the attack is basically in the calculation because the defense is 1. And that's already enormous here. We divide that by 50, we add +2, and we multiply it by 18. And oh my god, can you guess at this point, at this very moment, how much damage we actually did? Yeah, we did 60,830,244 damage to that poor Happiny. If anyone has any suggestions that could beat the score, and maybe I have fucked up in the formula somewhere, maybe I have miscalculated some stats or something, so let me know if you catch my error. Would be very nice to see your guys' input, but let's leave it at this. 60,830,244. Yikers! Alright, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.